Burnout is misunderstood. I think a lot of mission-driven leaders would not say that they're burned out because they still feel very passionate about and connected to their mission. But burnout goes deeper. Burnout happens in the body and in the regular emotions that you're feeling. If you're feeling constantly fried and frustrated and beginning to feel disconnected, possibly from that mission, and if you feel like you're never really able to fully rest, you're never feeling fully rested, you may be experiencing burnout. Overwhelm, reaction mode, and just keeping up are the old way.
You need real, root-level strategies and practical steps to grow your business or ministry without exhaustion and burnout.
Hi there, we're Anna Saucier
And Megan Gephardt,
best friends and business consultants who help faith-filled women create sustainable growth through simple strategy with a people-first approach.
Here at Apostolic Fruit, we hope to offer you clarity, support, accompaniment, and healing,
one tiny step at a time. I'm Anna Saucier, and I want to welcome you back to the Apostolic Fruit podcast. One of the things that we work very intentionally with our clients on is building congruence. As often, leaders are feeling a lot of incongruence in their experiences in leadership, in business, and ministry. We have this beautiful mission on the outside, and you're loving it. You will be feeling really passionate about it. However, in the day-to-day, it just feels frustrating. There's disconnect, there's miscommunication, everything's on emergency, everything may be on fire, we're just jumping to the next thing. That's very incongruent. And what we want to do is pull those things back together such that you, in yourself as the leader, you feel that connection to the mission, and then that's being acted out, that's being manifested in a way in the business or ministry through not just the end results, but the process itself, through the relationships of the people who are serving in that business or ministry, and through how it's being brought forth. There are really two ways that we start to bring this congruence back. And one of them is the practical things. It is establishing the foundation for the processes and the communication and the systems and ensuring that everyone is seeing the same vision and working in the same direction. The other piece of it is much more internal. And I hosted a powerful workshop a few weeks ago on embodied leadership. And what this is recognizing that if we truly want to serve in a servant leadership way, in a way that honors everyone's humanity involved, essentially lead the way Jesus did, we need to be more congruent. And part of that congruence is with our body, because our body, as human beings, we don't just have a body, we are body. But most of us have been disconnected from the experience of that body. We've shut down bodily needs. We've learned to ignore emotional experiences, possibly, the needs of the body, and we have a disconnection there. So one of the first and most powerful things that I have under my control as a leader is first within myself and within that body. So I want to talk about some practical ways that we can embody leadership and be more embodied in our leadership. Because I know sometimes people hear the words nervous system, embodiment, or integration, or even congruence, and wonder, okay, that sounds all beautiful and good, but what does it actually look like in real life? What does this mean when I'm leading a meeting or trying to grow and expand the business, increase the income, or maybe just get a moment to breathe and not explode when I'm being a mom, or direct the vision and actions for the team when I'm already maxed out? So we're going to look at some practical ways, because every leadership skill you've ever learned on the outside, how to manage a team, navigate conflict, set the vision, all of that has roots on the inside. And if those roots aren't tended to, then the fruit will always feel off. And after a while, we may be producing rotten fruit. So here's what it looks like to tend to those roots when I'm working with leaders. And you can take these and you can begin doing them for yourself. Firstly, we need to reset our energy. Leaders don't need just strategy resets. We need regular nervous system resets so that we're not running from adrenaline or depletion or carrying everyone else's stuff. You can practice resetting your energy by intentionally surrendering those you serve back to the Lord. It's very powerful. We know that words have meaning and words have power. So when we say something, either at the end of the day or after clients, after a team meeting, you can repeat something like this, and we'll put this in the show notes as well. I release everything, energy, emotions, thoughts, trauma that I may have picked up back to those people, or you can name names if it's helpful, and back to the Lord. I entrust those people to themselves and to God. I gently pull all of my own energy back to myself, back to my inner self, where the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit always reside. You can adjust that to your voice and the way you want to say it. But the point is, we don't have to keep carrying what isn't yours or what the Lord hasn't asked you to carry. Number 2, you need to make sure that you get your needs met. This is really, really important and one of the major places where we see the disconnect. It's highly likely that you may have conditioned to minimize, dismiss, or shove your own needs aside. This happens in leadership. This happens in motherhood. This happens in many areas that we as women serve. Learning to notice, accept, and actually meet our own needs is foundational for sustainable leadership and business. And while that sounds simple, and you probably nod your head, say, yeah, of course, it's not simple. Well, it is simple. It's not easy, but it is very, very possible and absolutely necessary. And so start small with that. Maybe that's, okay, I'm just going to start with water and I'm going to drink water first thing in the morning. And that's it. You may just begin there. Number 3 is boundaries. And as we start to learn how to do boundaries, we want to start with the internal before the external. The skills to set healthy boundaries with work, clients, team, or kids begins by practicing them internally. And here's what I mean by that. We speak the boundaries to ourselves first. Let's say somebody offers feedback to you. Hey, can I give you some feedback on such and such? You don't have to say yes. But internally, we first recognize, am I open to receiving feedback right now or am I not? And even if you're not ready to say that externally and you say yes and you don't mean it, the awareness comes first to recognize, man, yeah, I'm not really open to receiving feedback right now. I'm not feeling it. Another one is, I am not responsible for her emotions. I am not responsible for his emotions. It is stating the boundary there for yourself. This is a way of having integrity, wholeness, and agency for yourself to recognize I am responsible for my emotions and she is responsible for her emotions. Thirdly, another one is I do not receive the anger that this person is projecting. Kind of plays off of the last one, but in areas of leadership and team, there can be a lot of emotions running around. And it's important that in our spaces, in the garden and in our upcoming retreat, we're setting a very intentional community agreement that says, I matter, you matter, we matter. And if we operate from that, we recognize that each human being has agency in their own self, and they are responsible essentially for their own human experience and how they want to respond. And while we can absolutely, as leaders, we want to hold space for people and listen deeply and engage our beautiful human empathy, we still do not have to take on that of others. And sometimes we do anyway. This is important to clear it out. I don't receive that from her. I'm not taking that on. Okay? Or I release it. So that's boundaries. Setting them internally first, speaking them out internally first. Number 4, expanding your window of tolerance. A window of tolerance is what my nervous system has capacity to hold at any given moment. So it's like how much I can handle. And if we have a very small window of capacity, then we're going to be triggered a lot more. We're going to be a lot more reactive. If we have a larger window of capacity, that means I am able to hold many different situations going on and different emotions at the same time. As leaders, it ought to be one of our intentions to expand that window of capacity. Okay, so if you're recognizing that you're constantly feeling reactive or shut down or ping-ponging between states of anxiety and calm, then we want to nurture and build is an expanded window of tolerance. It's possible to show up in peace when things are messy. You can work on reclaiming your energy, releasing what doesn't belong to you, and helping your nervous system to expand its capacity for what is. Number 5, we want to embody feminine genius leadership. I was really excited to start thinking about this possibility in terms of the aspects of the feminine genius that St. John Paul II talks about. And what this is about truly is reconnecting with our womanly strengths that are built right into our bodies and our signals and language of feeling that allows us to naturally lead with intuition, receptivity, acknowledgement of the whole person, and integration. And we start to reconnect with the body's signals and the language. We reconnect with those natural abilities. And then we're much more able to lead without force and control, but with that receptivity. Number 6 is really be curious about belief in parts work. If you've ever heard of parts work, this is something that most of us naturally do anyway. When you say something like, oh, part of me wants to do this, or part of me wants to do this, we're recognizing that we're not like a fully congruent, perfect whole until we get to the end and we reunite with Jesus. And that's just part of the human experience. Our work then is to be present to that human experience and allow the Lord to meet us in it. So instead of trying to bulldoze our mindset and force ourselves to change or be fixed or slap on affirmations or better thoughts, the invitation is to get curious with questions like, I wonder which part of me is holding this belief? What is it trying to protect? Am I able to listen, honor, and gently lead myself forward in the way Jesus would? And if you'll notice, this is much more of curiosity than judgment. Now, oftentimes we're further into the judgment of, this is bad, I have to fix this. The alternative is, that's interesting. I wonder what's going on with that. And number 7 is your unique genius. Rediscovering your gifts, what fuels you, what drains you, and how God designed you to create impact and then building or leading it from there. This is a true embodiment of who you are. And we come back into feeling into this, to exploring it, to discovering it, to asking questions about it. These 7 aren't abstract concepts. They're really strong foundational roots that make the difference in how we lead meetings, how we listen to others. And when we're listening to ourselves first, we're building that skill of being able to listen to others, to approach the constantly changing work week with clarity and groundedness instead of reactivity and panicked urgency. Notice the way that we respond to our internal environment. If you're responding to your own emotions and human experience with reactivity and panicked urgency, I have to fix this fear, I have to solve this anxiety, then that's how we're going to respond externally as well. Okay? And in other circumstances, like snapping at our kids when we're feeling impatient versus holding a boundary with calm and without guilt. Micromanaging versus delegating and empowering your team to learn and take initiative and ownership, even when that takes a lot of patience. These skills start within. And when it comes to conflict, Do you feel like that crumbling anxiety or complete avoidance of it? Or are you able to navigate it with courage, integrity, and freedom? And then finally, that agonizing feeling of living in burnout versus being able to show up and creatively build something that's life-giving and sustains you. These are the differences that embodied leadership makes. They're not just pretty words. This is deep, practical work that keeps your leadership congruent, and it truly changes everything. At different times of the year, I have spots open for private embodied leadership coaching. If you're interested and you're thinking, yes, that's exactly what I need. I want help navigating these 7 steps, weeding through the way that I have been doing it, and gently making progress into a new way of being. Please reach out on social media at Instagram at apostolic_fruit, or you can find us at apostolicfruit.com, and you'll find a link to book a connect and call with me to explore. I'm deeply in this with you. It's a journey.
We hope you loved today's episode. If so, would you take a moment to share it with a friend?
If you haven't already, come connect with us human to human at apostolicfruit.com/connect. When you're ready, we'd love to support you more deeply.
May the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you,
and turn his face toward you and give you peace.